our age, you should be lucky you didn't break anything.
It's true.
You know, that's how I look at it when I go skiing or snowboarding now. I'm like, man, I made it through that weekend without breaking something.
That's actually what Matt said earlier too. So now that we're live on YouTube, yo, YouTube family, hey crew that's following along as always on MCC Virtual Business Box Lunch. Woo! Friday, the last Friday in January. By the way, it is the last Friday in January. Monday is the last day in January, which means an entire month in the new year has expired. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. You can't do anything about it at all. It's time. It marches on. It does what it's supposed to. I am your host, Mitch Gamage. Normally it says Savage in Business, but today it says a 1% business needs a 1% attitude. There's the Savage in Business. That's my boy rocking it down there. Maddie is always, broker certainty. We got one of everything today. I love it. We got one of everything from the MCC crew. But we are here to talk about the week that was in business. We help with the information, the education, the insight, etc. We bring some of our friends that are smart in business along, of course, and they're going to give you the insight of their thoughts and ideas on business so that we can hopefully make your business experience a little better than it was yesterday, which means it's going to be a little better tomorrow, and so on and so forth. And I love this. I'm just about to tick this box. Give me 1 second. I'll put that into place. But while I'm doing the button ticking real quick, let's get everybody to go around and make their introductions like always. I am, of course, joined by my two brothers from other mothers, Paul and Matt, and the usual syndicate business family crew that's here, but I'll let them kick it off. Paul, why don't you open things up?
Yeah, I'm Paul Fikowski, work with MCC, with Matt and Mitch, and love to provide solutions and get business owners to start to think a little bit more creatively on the issues and problems that they're having and find an awesome solution so that they can celebrate. The best way to celebrate, more money in the bank account.
Love it. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks, Paul. Matt Hewson. I'm one of these brokers of certainties with MCC Coaching. And my job for the last couple of weeks, and Lorette, you're going to smirk because we chatted about this morning, I want to make people cry. I want people to be so emotional and so passionate about what they're doing that I want you to cry. I'm going to ask you the hard questions, and we're going to come up with the solutions to all those things that are keeping you up late at night. Who's next?
Yeah.
Hey, Don Verboom, Fortree Coaching, helping businesses thrive and stay alive in this day and age. So anyone needs some help, give me a call.
Nice.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm Danielle Pilon. I own Danielle's SOS Bookkeeping, or rebranded as DSOS Bookkeeping. We do everything under the sun to do with your bookkeeping, accounting, payroll, incorporations, personal taxes. Big bad demon, personal taxes coming up soon. Very passionate about education, about giving our clients tools that could put us out of a job, but thankfully, we have a lovely strategy to keep them busy doing what they do best, to do what Paul said, put more money in their own bank accounts and let us do what we do best. And Matt, if you want to see people cry, come and talk to me, because this is what I deal with all the time.
I'm Scott Trace, part owner of EcoLeaf and Legacy Renewable Energies. I want to help bring solar to everybody and save our planet a little bit, so short and sweet.
I go last. Oh, we saved the best for last. My name is Laurette Lee from Phoenix Career Development. We create careers, we clarify careers, and we let people believe in their dream careers.
There we go. See, painless as always. So we are here at Virtual Business Box Lunch. We're going to dive in right away. And Paul and I were having a discussion as people were starting to pop in. Danny and Scott got in there. Don was popping in. Matt showed up. Laurette was there too. And we were talking about marketing. That is our first topic for today's. Why? We are a fucking month into the new year. By the way, I checked the box. So let's get it out of the way. Fuck! That feels good, right? 28th day of January. We got 3 days left in this month. And then we got 11 months left in the year. We're like, that's a long time. No, it's not. Did this month, true or false, show of hands, this month go by pretty quick? This month, anything that you expected? Did you accomplish any of the things at the beginning of the month you thought you were going to set out to do?
Yes.
Did you accomplish more by the end of the month, even though it didn't work out the way you wanted it to?
Yes.
Same thing happens in our first topic, and actually one of my favorites, one of my absolute favorites. Why is it one of my favorites? because there's a number of people here that are acolytes and absolute masters at this topic because of my love of this subject. I got to put that again. I love this stuff so much that I spend all of my time talking about. If anybody could get me to shut up for longer than 5 minutes about this topic, I don't know what's going to happen. And that is marketing, our ability to drive business. Now, I'm going to set the table to get everybody's opinion first on what people should do. There's not a problem to solve yet, just what people should do. What should you do right now for the month of February? What should you do in the first week of February? In other words, something you're going to start on, I don't know, Sunday or Monday, and by next Friday. We're going to think about that. But just the what. Businesses, now, in my world for a moment, in Paul and Matt's world, so MCC, our little empire, Mitch Kamich Coaching, and the other various vassal states that we have underneath it, has a couple of simple rules. We base businesses, Paul just went off camera. He's like, I'm out. We're talking marketing. I'm done. I'm out. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Businesses predicated on size, population size, monetary size, the amount of time they've been around, whatever it is, have certain rules to go by. And in our world, we call them non-negotiable rules. They're the shit that must get done for every business at a certain size or else this stuff continues to drag along behind your business like a caboose. It just sits there and it's stuck and it's not pulling like the engine is. So the non-negotiable rules for the little bitty businesses include some really simple ones, and they're all tailored around what? Sales and marketing. First of all, sell every day. And you're going, Mitch, it sounds like a sales thing, not a marketing thing. The digital world we live in right now means that you don't have to pick up the phone. You don't have to do this to talk to somebody to get them to potentially buy. You can get your business to talk about it. Next, you can pay for advertising. You can create content. You can shoot videos. You can hold a live webcast or podcast every Friday from 12 to 1 o'clock to talk about business shit for other people. And what does that do? It helps build your brand. It gets people to listen to you. Maybe they're going to trust you enough, or maybe they go, you know what, I got enough trouble. This Mitch guy sounds like he's got an answer. Let's go talk to him, figure out what's going on. Sell every day is a rule. And it is non-negotiable. Means that much like paying the aforementioned taxes that our accounting partner here on the call mentioned, it's something that's going to happen no matter what. You don't have to like it, but your business is going to thank you when you set your business up to do it for you. You might have to do it for the business first, but then you want your business to do it for you after. So selling every day is really important. Marketing is a huge part of that because of the pandemic. We've both been so isolated and so freed. We can go anywhere in the world right now thanks to the glowing box, and yet we're stuck at home doing it. That also means you can talk to anybody in any time zone, in any place. And yeah, you can pick up the phone to call, but you can also pick up the phone to do this. You can pick up the phone to do this. You can pick up the phone to do that. Yeah, what up, right? You can do all that sort of crap. But you can use the glowing box in your hand or your pants or the glowing box right here to take care of that stuff. So sell every day. Marketing is vital and important. So peeps on this call, it also gives me a chance to type a little bit over here in the other glowing box for a moment. Marketing, what is it? What do we got to do? And let's give them a snapshot for the next 30, 60 days. What's something that's really important? One thing that they got to focus on, they got to function over, or they got to take good care of, because it is an essential function, a strategic function of business. And if you're not doing it right now and you're not doing it well, you're doomed. You're going down. Who's first?
I got a good one. It's my favorite one. I'm going to do this first because it is one that people don't talk about with marketing enough. And that is get to know your competition intimately. Get to know who does what you do in the space that you do what you do in. If you don't know who else does what you do, you are at a huge disadvantage. You need to intimately know your competition. What is it? Keep your enemies close, right? Like there's strategic value in understanding what you are up against. I would say probably 50% of our best marketing campaigns have come on the piggyback side of something that someone else was either trying to do or something that somebody else started to do. And you're like, I got it, but I got more. And so you build on it. And I mean, Paul will appreciate this too. Nothing's unique anymore, right? To a certain extent. I mean, yes, your brand, you're a beautiful snowflake, but nothing's truly unique anymore. So by looking at what other people are doing, both good and bad, you'll bring value and stability to your own business and be able to, well, out business your opponents, I guess.
Have a plan.
Out business your business.
Yeah. Oh, business, your business.
I think the most important part is having a plan. Talk to lots of people, and they'll always ask me, like, what do we do with marketing, and how do we, make this work for us, and like, what steps have you taken? Is usually the first question I ask, and they're like, well, I haven't really done anything. I just think it should go like this. And I think that it's probably 60% of the battle, just putting pen to paper or opening a Word document and, jotting down what you need to do for your plan of action to work. Are you going to run a funnel campaign? Are you going to do pinwheel strategies? What type of strategies are you going to use to unroll this? And then come up with the individual posts that you want to put out with videos or pictures and memes and stuff like that. And then unroll it. And I think people get in their way with how complicated they need to make it, when it's kind of, you'll see how simple it is if you just lay out a plan.
I can do one better too, just really quickly. If you're like, that is even in itself daunting, Google marketing calendar 2022. You will get thousands of people on Pinterest that will literally create ideal plans that you just piggyback, and then brand, obviously, so that they work with your business. But I figured out that there is a special day of the year, every single day of the year, thanks to Tailwind. And I had no idea that there was like chocolate cake day and an air balloon day. And that in itself, how many of your competitions are celebrating Happy Air Balloon Day? I don't know. Can you make it work? Maybe.
I love it. If I can add to that as well, I would say you just need to contact Mitch Kamich Coaching, because I'm literally looking at the quarterly domination planner. And it's something that Mitch and I spoke about earlier this morning, saying like, you have to have the plan, you have to write it down, and then all you have to do is execute. So you've heard so many times for us here is that to be a student is fantastic and is key. But if you are continually in student mode and you just want to learn and you want to read and you want to do this, you're never actually doing it. So you will never get better. So once you have the plan, go out and be bad at it so that you can get good at it sooner. And then from there, you can create that domination structure that is needed, because you can pay somebody else to do it, yes. But in today's world of like interacting, it's going live right now. It is also saying, hey, I need to do this right now. And you have all the tools because you have a phone in your pocket. That's all you need to do.
Me and Matt had a conversation today about Never Split the Difference, Chris Voss. So like, read that book. It's amazing. It's my 3rd year anniversary today in my business. It's been running for 3 years. So my first 2 years was like a whisper market, right? But 3rd time's the charm. So we're talking physical. So like, have your client at like strategy. And like, I've been building relationships for 2 years. It's time to do the ask. It's time to be like, hey, you want to work with Phoenix Career Development. And I'm so excited because it's like the physical this year. So start doing things physically.
Don?
Automate.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people put together marketing programs. I'll do a little of this and a little of that, and I'll throw a piece of content on for a couple of days and then nothing for a couple of months, and up and down. I got a client now, I'm not doing anything. It's like, automate your marketing. There's so many great things that out there, or people, or get VAs or whatever, but decide on what, 2 or 3 of the main ways that you're going to attract clients, be that digitally, social media, content, or whatever, and just try to get people to automate it for you. So it happens 24 hours a day, your website's selling for you and bringing in people, and they're clicking on make an appointment or buy now or whatever. But I would say that you got to automate that. You got to get away from that personal stuff. You got to do that anyway, but it's up and down. So now get back to automation.
All right. Now that we've shaken it out a little bit, talked a little bit about stuff, what is one success you've seen in marketing in the last little bit? You can get as granular as one, or you can be holy cow, great big, I'm gonna start off with an easy one. This is a layup. We are at recording time, obviously. This is the last Friday in January of 2022. So that's watching the future. What do we have for those of us in North America that are tuned up or are all sports fans? We have playoff football. We have NFL footballs in the playoffs. And of course, because we're all of us on this call today are in Canada, we get the Canadian ads, not the American ads on football weekend, which sucks because our Canadian broadcasters are, well, woefully unprepared compared to the kind of budget the marketing companies are willing to spend in the US. I saw an ad divisional playoff weekend for crypto. That's how fast it's coming. And now when there's other competitors in our Canadian marketplace uniquely that are better positioned or doing better, this is a company I hadn't heard of, but they clearly scraped together enough money to advertise on playoff football weekend. That is laudable and notable, because adoption for cryptocurrency, actually people using it right now, is only about 5 or 6% of the population worldwide. But we expect, or a statistic from the US, as much as 60% of people know about cryptocurrency. And major trading houses have started bringing in. So somebody had the foresight to go, wait a second, even though this is literally brand new, and even though there's no mechanism yet for regular trading houses, et cetera, to do it, screw it, we're all in. They spent a giant chunk of money for one of the most disruptive and yet least understood technology advances that we've got right now, crypto. Literally money gone to the internet. The glowing box has its own money. And no, I'm not talking Amazon. And they paid to advertise in the most conservative platform for one of the most disruptive tools. What does that say? They are not catering to the crypto nuts already. I think everybody on this call is in crypto right now. In fact, a bunch of people on this call are in the same investment group, right? They are catering to everybody else. They are catering to Joe and Jane football. I think that is innovative as hell. I paid good money, millions of dollars, to put an ad for my cryptocurrency account on football weekend for people that there's going to be ones going, what the hell is crypto? I think that is mind-blowingly cool. What else you got?
Just speaking on that crypto, I see there's a real call for somebody's starting to take it on where you get away from the wallets, and people lose their digital wallet, forget their password, had a fire, all these millions of dollars getting lost into the thing. So someone's going to say, hey, I got a better way, and they're starting to promote that. So I think there's some neat turnovers to make it more acceptable to the masses. So I think that's really adapting quick. Before, like you say, it's only 5% of the people are into it, but already they got a new major adaptation about how to make it more successful. So there's some neat companies like that.
What's the direct question right now?
What's one really good success in marketing, big or little, that you've seen in the last little bit?
Oh, the long game. So like you don't sell right away. You don't sell aggressively. So you
I'm just asking you, what's one really cool one that you've seen yourself? Yeah.
For me, it's building relationships. It's continually talking to someone and building a relationship before locking the deal down. So like you only do business with people you know, like, and trust. So for me, it's the touch points along the way. It's the long game, because eventually when you hit the win, it's so much sweeter, because it's going to be a long win, and you're going to make more money off of it because you built the relationship.
Lorette, I know what your strategy is. What's a win that you've seen?
I was in a room with people that can change my life this week. So I had a conversation with a public school system, and I was like, listen, I tried to network with you 2 years ago. You didn't want to talk to me. So I'm like, I still want to help you. I still want to talk to you. And they're like, this week, they're like, yes, we'll talk to you. Let's set up a meeting next week. So like, that was a motherfucking long game, well earned, and I win. So I'm going to have that meeting next week. You're welcome.
Scotty, had your hand up?
Yeah. I built the website for our business. It was getting lots of visits, but it wasn't really building much traction at the beginning. And then we got a golden goose that walked right in the door. So sometimes it never normally happens like that, where usually you get your usual and your typical clients. But first person that walked in off the door through the website was potentially a golden goose. So that's a big win in my books. Yeah.
Paul, Matt?
For me, not a personal win, just overall what I'm seeing out there as wins for marketing. I would say hashtag Freedom Convoy has probably been, necessarily, something that has kind of dug in, and obviously it's been captivating for some, whether or not it's a true win politically, economically, or other. I'm not here to say that, but what started as something small obviously grew. And to me, it just kind of speaks to the fact that when you have something that could work, can work, you just have to put it out there. So again, you just got to try. So, to me, the smallest incremental, switch or increase really could be that catalyst to take you to the next level. So the biggest win, I think, are the hashtags out there right now. And it still kind of drives me crazy that you can go out with crypto. And I think that we can kind of speak to this a little bit. We had one of the most conservative clients that we've ever had in the restaurant industry ask us about crypto. So it's no longer, to speak to what Mitch had talked about, it's no longer for the people that are at the ahead of it. It's now going to be commonplace because the people that are super conservative are going, hey, I've heard about this a little bit. I always thought it was way out here, but it's closer and closer. So I'm curious to see what that looks like over the next even 6 months. I think it's going to move pretty quick.
All right, now that we're starting to warm up a little bit, I'm going to start with Dawn. Dawn, what's your must win? What is your hill to die on for your business when it comes to that marketing and advertising side right now? What's the business genius doing for his business that, whether it's this month, next 6 months, what's the non-negotiable, can't go back on?
It's the new system I'm signed on to that consolidates my calendar, my CRM tools, my drip campaigns, all in one kind of package. Plus it funnels in leads that come from Google that are people are searching for my industry. It's like, I need to kind of put it all together and make this happen. And I'm getting a VA to help me make it automated. So it happens all the time. So for me, it's got to keep it going. Although right off the bat, they screwed up my email. It's been down for 3 days and it's like, I got to work through this, but I'm going to stay with it and make it happen.
Outstanding. Laurette, what about you?
Build relationships, refine movement, no longer sparkler, laser beam. One person can help me. One person is my golden ticket.
Mm-hmm. Matt, what you got?
I would think for me specifically for marketing is to engage more specifically with our client base and like and share for them with them so that we can help incorporate that conversation into our corporate communication as well.
Scott, Danny?
My focus right now is micro marketing. So micro campaigns, no longer than 3 days, no longer than $10, or no more expensive than $10, and doing micro hits on different topics. Like coming into tax season, there's obviously no shortage of topics that I can do micro hits on, and just running constant micro campaigns. That's my focus for the next 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Scotty?
Mine is actually doing in-person meetings and establishing better relationships to steal the Red's thunder. I'm so reliant on digital advertising that I've kind of neglected that side of the marketing, the personal relationships that you build with people. Because of course, in my mind, I look at it like I should be able to post ads and then people are going to come to me with their problems and I can help them with my, solutions. But then there's the next level of it where it's nurturing relationships. So I think that for me in the next quarter is going to be something I'm focusing on more.
Paul, what about you?
Okay, first, crypto. Yeah, I'm getting people coming out of the woodwork, texting me and calling me. Do you know anything about this? I'm even willing to pay for basic information on how to open an account, where to open an account, and how things function. So what I'm seeing that, out there in the big wide world, but I'm also seeing it within my own network. I know that there is a big shift coming this year, and we're seeing it, I think, probably because of the headlines that are out there that big corporations that we know, like, and trust are getting into the space. So now it's giving that warm and fuzzy feeling and that inquisitive feeling for people going, hey, maybe I need to look into this a little bit. As far as marketing is concerned, it's, the general thing is, hey, put out 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 posts a day. And, people grasp it that it's exactly the same post over and over again, or it's the same narrative over and over again. And it doesn't have to be. It's tailoring it to your audience. What are you trying to say? And all you have to do is just switch it up. Light bulb moment for me on that side. And then for me, TikTok. I think there's still a lot of room to move in there. The largest segment of the population that is adopting TikTok is between 38 and 50. It's not the kids anymore. So a lot more of the adults are moving into that area. So it's time to move in and focus on that segment.
And to that note, when Facebook makes a massive adjustment in their platform by adding Reels, you know that a competitor like TikTok is creating impact. When they add as close to TikTok as they can under their own platform overnight with an update, you know that one of their competitors is creating an impact and taking eyeballs away from their platform. It's interesting as hell. So we've talked wins and we're talking strategies, and now here's a good question for the panel. Who's seen a really terrible example in marketing? Who's seen a really shitty marketing example? Who's seen something so terrible that they thought, I can't live with this. I can't do that. That was a mistake. That was shameful. Or who knows of something that is a no-go? So it's either an example you've seen or it's something that you know because the market's changed, the way people respond is different, or this is just a spot you can't go into for your advertising. The question is, we're talking about problems, things, mistakes, and errors that people create in marketing, whether you've seen it or whether you just know that it's one of the rules. So I'm going to preset the table by using part of what Paul said. If you decide to up your content game before you pay for anything and stuff like that, you can't have the same message all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It has to be topical. It has to be environment driven. It has to speak to your audience. It can't be just the stuff you like, but you have to be knowledgeable about your topic. So it should be something inside of your wheelhouse, the stuff you like, know, and trust, the stuff you love, and the things that you're good at professionally. But there's a number of different things that you can talk about at any given time, just from a business perspective. There's the global ones, marketing and sales and hiring and cash flow and money and planning, etc. And then it starts to go down rabbit holes to all the different areas. What it means to plan, what it means to tax plan, what it means to have effective cash flow management, what it means to manage your AR and AP. So that's just starting to go down the money side of things in business. When it goes to sales, what is a sales strategy? How do you work it? How do you hire a salesperson? How do you put together? How do you measure your metrics? What do you do when, feast or famine periods? How do you understand what's going on? Business is doing really well, how to sustain it, or what happens when it drops off a cliff? Marketing, what is it? How is it? What is the platform? What's the way to deliver? What are the tools, etc.? So these are all things that we've got that are great places to go. But the point to reinforce the question I'm asking from the panel is, if you're going to publish 15 times a day, it can't be the same thing 15 times a day. You will drive your audience away. But you'll drive your audience away if it's the same thing one time a day for 7 days in a row. So that's a great place to start. Either a lesson you've seen that is a no-go or something that you know is just one of the rules that maybe you live by. But we want to help people to understand the stuff they shouldn't do in marketing just as well as the stuff they should do. Who's up first? Don, go for it.
I'm not a fan of multiple postings in the same day, even if they are a little different. I kind of just blows over me. Oh, that guy again, that lady again. It's like, okay, give me one good piece of information each day, fine. But when you just do it 3-4 times a day, is like, come on already. I got other people to read and find out, and you're kind of overdoing it for me anyway.
Okay.
The problem lies within the algorithm itself, where each of these social media platforms encourages multiple posting a day. And that's kind of why you're seeing it, and people gravitate towards it because it's a proven recipe for success, right? Like Snoop Dogg publishes, I think, like 17 to 20 times a day. And, that's how he represents his brand and continually gets his name out there. So as much as it's kind of repetitive, that's what the social media as itself it rewards that behavior, right? So people are just going to draw more and more to it.
Yeah. I'm just saying I'm getting kind of viewer fatigue.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking for variety of people now. I'm looking, my universe is huge with people and all the different things between Facebook and LinkedIn and thousands of people. There's so much variety out there. Why do I want to see somebody's stuff 17 times?
Agreed. Yeah. I guess, can I go next? One thing I've been seeing with people is that they're overly gaslighting with marketing where I encounter people on a day-to-day basis, and usually I'm wearing the marketing hat, and sometimes it's the project management hat, and we'll start talking about marketing with different projects we're working on, and they want to take the lead with it, but really they have a hard time logging into Facebook and publishing every day. And you get in these technical conversations with them, and then you can see they're kind of glazed over a little bit with what it is, and then they realize how daunting it is. And I think it just comes to you easier if you're humble about it, where it's like, okay, well, I want to be able to post 3 times a week, and maybe I could use some help, or I have a goal and I'm trying to get to it, rather than this boastfulness that everybody does, where it's like, well, I'm awesome, I know what this is, I know what that is, I know what all these buzzwords are. I guess maybe my problem is buzzwords. And you ask them the technical side of whatever that buzzword is, and they have no response for it because they've just heard about it on TV or social media or whatever it may be. You'll get more help from people by being humble. When I have somebody come to me and they have a real question about it and they're humble, I will always want to help them. But when you come at me all the time and you act like you're, the top of it all, and then you come at me with help, it's like, well, at this point, why should I help you? You boasted about how great you are all the time, and then now you're sitting there saying that this is a problem for you. Well, I'm not so inclined. So, being humble and asking for help, I find within our business community that there's nobody that wouldn't be willing to help based upon that theory, right? So, having humility and understanding and knowing yourself and your parameters with what your business is. People confront and do the fake it till you make stuff all day, but really that to some degree shows that you don't have your own business truly under control, because you're not sure where you're at. And then I just I'd like to hammer that home a little bit, because always willing to help people with what marketing is. And I think if we all help each other, then all of our marketing will be better as a group.
I'm going to jump in on that point really quick. And I mean, to the end, I watched a podcast video by a couple of notable YouTube celebrities. In fact, they're like number 1 and number 3 for earnings on YouTube last year. And they're talking about how they got started. And they're together inside their own podcast. They're inside their own mastermind to do their own thing. But one of them, the top earning YouTube channel provider and earner last year in 2021 in YouTube, is talking about how he got started. And he got started with a crew, with a room full of people. And they would spend 10 or 12 or 15 or 18 hours a day just working on that. Talks about the fact that he was on a broadcast streaming call for 18 hours straight while they created content. They just had food delivered to the house, and that's it. He goes, we spent 90 days once locked up together in the same house with an agreement. No booze, no going out. And we spent 90 days just creating content together. And he goes, I learned more by doing that than anything else. And it goes on in the midst of this conversation, this talk about how he got started, to say, I would do this myself and it would take me 6 months or a year to figure it out. He goes, but I make a mistake on Thursday. By Friday, everybody else has fixed it. Somebody else screws up on Tuesday. By Wednesday, we've got it figured out. Somebody else screws up the following Thursday. By Friday, we're there. He goes, in 90 days, we're smarter because we work together because of it. Marketing, you need feedback from people. If the market's not responding, you got to get that. So if you're not trusting other people to look at your stuff and say, yeah, it's great, or shit, you're screwed, right? Lorette, Nat, Paul.
Yeah. Like my pet peeve is just vanilla. So like when Thanksgiving happens, everyone's like, happy Thanksgiving. And I'm like, that's like my 8th Thanksgiving post. Like I'm no longer even caring what your company is, because I don't want to read happy Thanksgiving. So like have a really good client acquisition strategy. So like my strategy is every day post about the Empress, post about something magical, because that's the archetype of my business. And then post something that's like, I'm an employment specialist, come talk to me. But like exactly like you were saying, I have 2 forms and functions of people that support me in my marketing. I have Ninja Marketing, and then I have like within LinkedIn, you have to post the first 20 minutes and someone has to comment right away. So I have a group of 6 people that I share my post in a chat, and I know it's going to get liked within 20 minutes. So I know my algorithm is going to go up. So like you need a support system to effing like your posts and stuff like that.
Matt, Paul.
I think for me, it's not necessarily a bad marketing campaign. It probably was a good one. It's just that when you do make the call and you do reach out, you're ghosted. So it's like the fortunes in the follow-up, but it's like, hey, love this campaign, or this specifically was the glowing box in our pockets. Listen to me when I said not to listen. And all of a sudden an ad came up. I'm like, oh, how did it know that? Right. And I click on it, go for it. And then there was nothing for 3 days. It's like, oh, I'm no longer interested in that product from you specifically. And I purchase it from their competitor literally within hours. Right. So it truly will have to be about how you are qualifying the engagement. Because if your client is engaged, or I was a client, but honestly, probably never will go back. So it's interesting to see that as kind of the fall down point.
Paul?
I think it's the fake interest. I'm interested in you. I'm interested in your business, but hey, wait a second. I just want to sell you something. I think everybody can pretty much see through it, and you're doing yourself a detriment. It's really to come from like what Scott was saying, humble. How can I add value? How can I help? How can I make this situation a little bit better? And that can be in your marketing, that can be live, whatever it is. But I think everybody's looking at it and going, I think you're just trying to sell me some shit. So, you don't really give a rat's ass what I'm saying. So,
as everybody in this panel may have gleaned, since we're at the 38-minute mark today in Virtual Business Box Lunch, that our theme has to do with clients, customers, making money. This is about marketing and sales. When was the last time, and this, you might have to dredge a little bit for this, because we're so inundated with ads and with marketing and with targeted stuff and emails. And I mean, one of my multiple email addresses has like 7,000 unread emails, and most of it bullshit. It's complete detritus. It's just crap in there. And even the best filters can't seem to keep it out. And I've just stopped bothering trying to delete it or get rid of it. I'm like, whatever. It's good. Filters will catch the stuff from people that are important, and that's it, right? When was the last time somebody did a really good job with you? When was the last time they did a really good job? Now, I'm going to premise this. So we're talking about marketing primarily, because marketing, advertising, getting your business to sell every day. Every time somebody comes to the door, I actually say the same thing. And even in a pandemic, we still get the odd person fronting at the door. Mostly it's for nonprofits and charities and stuff like that. But the odd person is showing up. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to give you 2 minutes of my time. And then I'm going to give you some feedback. Is that fair? Yeah, absolutely. And if I think they've done a good job, I'll tell them good job. But the last time I bought something was chocolate covered raisins. That's the last time I bought something from the door. It's also the last time I bought something from the internet, because it was presented to me in the form of an email or whatever it is. So it's been a long time since somebody, and I bought that box of raisins last year. So it's been a while since I had somebody wow me, right? And it doesn't take much. To some of the points made today, it's got to be about humanizing the experience. I don't need you to wine and dine me. I just want to know what you're doing and what's going to be the benefit. How are you going to take care of me when this happens? Is the value of the money I'm going to exchange for whatever the product or service is going to be well worth it in my world? So when was the last time you were wowed, or somebody else did a really good job with their marketing or their advertising or their sales with you? Because I want that to be a good teaching moment for everybody else here and our live audiences, of course. When was the last time somebody did a good job, and what did they do? What made them stand out? What made it really work for you? Because everybody on this call is pretty damn good. In fact, I see 3 sales trainers on this call right now. So we got some feedback here that's a little better than the average person, right? We kind of know when the jig's up. We kind of know when the hustle's on. Got a pretty good idea when somebody's like, so I'm really into you for your wallet, but I'll tell you it's the color of your eyes.
Can I start?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we do need to, again, preface that Mitch never gives us the questions, and we're all pretty quick thinkers. But that question, I don't have an answer, which means that nobody has wowed me enough to be that aha moment over the course of, honestly, I would say months. I think that we've chatted about some great interactions, and hey, you know what, I really like the visual here and this and that. But from a complete marketing sales cycle, I don't have that answer. And I think that's quite alarming, because we are now
I wowed you.
Noisy.
Don't lie.
You did wow me. You did wow me. But it's one of those things where it's like ultimately from start to finish socially or digitally, I don't have that. You know, like we have the third party food apps. We have I guess one that has kind of disrupted my thinking. VRBO came out with a commercial and they called themselves Verbo. And now I was panicked because if it's always been Verbo, I've looked like an asshole for like 2 years because I've used that platform and called it VRBO. So can you guys settle this for me? Which one is it? Is it Verbo? Is it VRBO?
Here we go.
Yeah, see? But they said Verbo. It confused me. So is that a great marketing campaign or is that a shitty one? You tell me because we're talking
about it right now.
So it's a good one.
Exactly. Anyway, I'll stop talking now.
I got a good quick one. We were having a very directed conversation towards a very specific topic yesterday in our marketing or in our coaching call with Mitch, actually. And we were looking for a resource that would help solve a problem or help us construct a really cool marketing campaign. Sorry, we've got kitties that are climbing all over our stuff. And I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I don't spend much time on Facebook unless it's for marketing or business stuff, just because, again, same thing, your internet, your inbox and your email is slogged full of crap. My Facebook is slogged full of crap. But I get smacked up the side of the head about 6 minutes ago with exactly what we were looking for yesterday. And I will say this right now, the algorithm in Facebook and the listening ears in my phone and desktop have wowed me today because they gave me exactly what I was looking for. The page was simple, the premise was simple, the price was right, the comparisons were there, and it made it a very, very, very easy option to purchase because it saves us $500 against what we thought we were going to pay for the exact same thing yesterday.
The glowing box walked you into it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes I'm like, no. And today I'm just like, all right, Facebook. All right.
Like, I need a present for my spouse.
Right?
I need $1 million.
Yeah.
Are you
Just give
listening?
me a bag of money. A picture for a bag of money is going to show up in a paid advertisement for you.
Give me a leprechaun. Give me a leprechaun.
Don, what you got?
Chris Cardell, big marketer out of the UK. Just before Christmas, near the end of the year, he was talking about things that he wanted to do, and he says, "I just want to put it out there that I want to run a seminar about the 10 biggest mistakes in marketing. It's going to be about 90 minutes. It's totally free. Just hook up and go." And boy, did he lay on some juicy stuff there. It wasn't, real fluffy things where you don't get the meat of it. He went into 10 great things about things you could do in marketing to advance yourself. And it was really great. And then he follows that up because now he's got your email, but now he's giving you really juicy parts that, week after week after week. And you can just sort of go on there and, see his little snippets. He always takes a big, long interview and he pops it into, a 10-minute piece. And there's a nice usable piece of information there, and it enticed me to try his book, which was like about $60 or something, and be part of his Facebook group and stuff. So I tried that out to see what the inner circle was like. But then after a month, said, okay, good. That's not where I want to be. Not for another $150 a month. But, it just pulled me in nicely, gave me good information. I backed out and now I just, take the information for it. But really well presented. And he offered lots and lots of free content and continues to do that. So it was a great promotion.
Mm-hmm.
The best selling is when you don't know you're getting sold to. So like Gary Rowland took your sales class last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a conversation with Gary and then he was like, hey, this is my vision, mission, and purpose on the wall. And I'm like, I want one. Like he wasn't even selling. He was just showing me his. And I'm like, how much? And like he actually underpriced his, but I wanted it so bad and I wanted him to understand the value of it. I rose my price to him. I'm like, I'm not paying you $30 for that. I'm gonna pay you $100 because it's like I want it and I want it so bad and I want you to put love in it. But like I didn't even know I was getting marketed to. I was just like, damn, this is cool. I want this.
It's
So
the
that's
English
what I-
accent with Gary. You don't realize it's going on until it's
Right.
too late.
Fucking genius.
British accent.
I know. I was like,
British
yes,
accent
I will.
every time.
Every time.
Paul, Matt.
Someone that loves their job. Had to use a plumbing company a while back, and the person on the phone is I don't know, bubbly, having a good day, or maybe they're always like that, and then having the person come to the house, and actually chatting and engaging rather than just, going right to the work. And then laughing. Like if you can get me to laugh and let's have a good time while I'm still paying for a service, and I'm going to do that flinch anyways. Oh, how much? I think that's natural for everybody, but it makes it sticks with me. Hey, I actually had a great time with the problem and I had to pay for it, but I'd call them back because I want that energy. I want that laughter. I want that, ease and fun, even in a problem situation. So that's what stuck out for me. And then they followed up on top of that and sent out cards. Thank you very much for your service. Handwritten card. Like, who does that?
Yeah,
That brings up
just real quick. It truly, like, we've chatted about this so much here, is that we're talking about client acquisition, but client retention and frequency thereof is the best marketing scheme you could have because you already know them, right? So, like, to speak to what Paul just said, it's how can you maybe get a little bit more of a touch out of each client, but you were happy to pay. And like Lorette, you just said you were happy to pay and you set the price, right? So that to me is like the passion project, and the client retention is, I think, more important right now than client acquisition because people are exiting more than they are, people are still buying. They're just looking for the value proposition. And if you can add that during the sales cycle, like Paul just said, I want to know who that was because I will use them for sure. Right? That's the best marketing. They didn't spend a dime.
Yeah. And it's something like 5 times more expensive to get a new client versus to keep an older one or upsell something to them. So it's like value your current clients for sure.
Statistically, you are 3 in 5 chances away with happy clients from referrals. So if you have 5 happy customers, you could be 3 referrals away. 5 happy customers give you 60% more business. To Don's stat for a moment, 5 times more expensive. So if you spent $5 getting each one of those first clients, that's $25. And they give you another $15 in business. That's extraordinary. That is a huge return. They've literally given you the cost of that acquisition for the business for free, not counting whatever the price of the retail is. If it costs $5 to get them and they spend $10, so you spend $25 to get 50, they give you the next $15 worth of acquisition for free, and you make $10 off of each one. You've made $80 for the same $25 in acquisition cost. Or it cost you another $15 to get another 30. You made the same 80, but it cost you 40. Instead of make it 80 and it cost you 25. That's potent. That is powerful. So something that I've been watching with the talking heads the last little while, and this is an important one, and this is from, and so for a sales and marketing guy like I am, I love watching the sales and marketing gurus. And this is a snippet from Grant Cardone and from one of his 10X seminars. And he's talking to a bunch of tradespeople. And this is desperately important because this speaks to Matt's commentary for a moment about, and Don's about customer retention, but to Paul's experience from customer follow-up. Grant's talking to this group of people and he ends up talking to this tradesperson, and it's HVAC company. And he goes, what's the biggest product? What's your best seller? What's the thing I should ask for right away? And he calls on the phone, ends up talking to this person, asks for a price. And they're like, we don't do that. There's so many different things we got to do that. We're going to send a technician out. Yeah, no problem. Thanks. Hangs up, and he goes, what was the cost in lost business? Because she wouldn't give me a price over the phone. All right. I'm going to call your competitors until the first person tells me what it is. So your marketing, advertising, strange as it seems, we've got this stigma right now about price, yet right now, thanks to the advent of the pandemic and the glowing box right here and the Amazon shopping generation, I want to know exactly what the price is right now. I do, which means that if your prices, now this is something as a talking head for me that I'm guilty of because IP is tough. Establish value ahead of time. But my prices aren't too hard to find. They're pretty easy. They're fairly standardized. They only work really one way. but it's still not as upfront as you would think. So how many opportunities did I lose because I haven't answered a really simple question? What's the price? What's the thing that I get with it, right? We talked today about know, liking, and trusting the people we buy from, but the first part of that equation is the value proposition. Features, advantage, benefits. There's a reason that if you can go to a dealership, they still put the sticker on the window of the car with all the crap. Here's what the engine is, and here's the leather on the seats, and here's the steering wheel, and the seats heated and cooled, by the way. You know, your private parts are going to stay toasty warm or nice and cool, winter, summer, doesn't matter which one, right? Steering wheel heats up. Hell, the window doesn't just defrost. The wiper blades heat up. The mirrors defrost themselves, right? Don't forget to buy the undercarriage coating. You don't want rocks chipping the bottom. The feature, advantage, benefit is really important. We still have to understand what we're buying. But if your price isn't front and foremost, you're not going to get the shot to do it. And yet that's the front end of customer service. What do I tell them? How do I talk to them? It's okay to say it's really important that I get your business. What do I do to make you happy? That front end, including price and the value that you're going to provide for that price, is important. And if people feel that you're genuine, they're going to buy from you. And if they feel that they can buy from you, they're going to trust you. Then what are they going to do? They're going to refer and they're going to come back. To Don's point, and an extension again, the value of keeping good clients and happy clients with you long term comes back in the form of repeated business, referrals, reviews, and testimonials. I've got clients that may or may not be on this call that are here because they are 9 generations deep in referrals. How much value does that attribute to a single client if you can go down 9 steps on the ladder from one person all the way down to somebody at the bottom? In our mythical model, for a moment, if it costs $5 to get every one of those, I'd spend $45 to get all 9, or it cost me $5 at the first one, and that's it. The other 8 came for free. That's lethal. So I want you guys, and this is lightning round for a moment because I love that theme. So Lorette and Scott, you're going to have less than 30 seconds to talk. Less than 30 seconds to talk.
I think you get to talk last round.
That's on purpose, buddy.
I know.
Less than 30 seconds. We got the front end of the transaction before they come to you. That's sales and marketing advertising. We got during the transaction, that is customer service and the sales process itself. We've got post-transaction, which is client retention, customer satisfaction, and getting them to rebuy. Those are the categories, the blocks, if you will, the 3 different phases. There's before they come to you, there's while they're taking it on, and then there's after and when they go away. These are the 3 phases in sales or marketing and getting people to come and take your crap from you. I want one tip or one non-negotiable, and I know I've asked that, but I'm closing out with it today, and it can be in any of those 3 segments. This is a no miss. This is your 100% tried and true. Hell, if we put, and there's, what do we have on here? 7 of us today. Hell, if we get 7 individual ones, we might as well write a sales and marketing seminar off of it. The 7 rules that you can't fail to win with in marketing and sales, or whatever the hell it is. We're going to make millions. It's going to be awesome. 30 seconds or less. One can't miss, must do. Shake it out, do some mental push-ups. All right. I'm gonna get my boy Don to go first.
Have upsell products for your clients. Have a kind of a assortment or suite of things that once they're in on the basic program, that you've got other stuff available. You offer this and you offer that, or extra hours or whatever, that you add more value to the ones that you already have. Not just keeping them on, but you've got something extra bonus that you can take them and use them as well.
Mm-hmm. Nicely done. Good job. Good job. Danny, what you got?
Don't forget to be a human. Sometimes you want to be tempted to share just business related content, but making somebody laugh with something that's not relevant, but it's still posted on your page, it will make you relatable. Whether it's a picture of what kind of Ross are you from Friends, and it's a 9 block with like different facial expressions. That was our highest hitting marketing campaign in the last 5 years. And it just proved that everybody was human and needed a moment to laugh. And it drove a shit ton of business into our business. So it was a win.
Mm-hmm. Scott?
Planning's important. It's what I talk about here every week. So I won't take up any more time.
Lorette?
Know thyself, know thy product, and a little magic.
Matt?
If you're going to align with a major reboot TV show, make sure you read the fine print Peloton. Don't kill people off and crater your company. Make sure you read the fine print for strategic partnerships.
Yep. That's a good one.
That was my failure in marketing, by the way. I just remembered it.
3 simple things that your competition lacks to do, doesn't want to do, won't do, or just isn't aware of doing it. Setting yourself apart. And, mentioning the card, a handwritten card, out of the park. No one's doing it.
All right. Good job. Panel. Another virtual business box lunch is in the can. The last January, we started this path in June. A little bit of time off at Christmas, the odd blip here and there. We didn't do it when the MCC boys were all in Vegas for Undisputed Mastery. But we've been doing this. This is the 7th month. We've been doing this. We're in season 2. Wow. Hey, Dawn, Lorette, Scotty, Danny, Matt, and Paul. And I know that we normally see Shannon. We normally see Yulia. We see JT all the time. We see Jason Cordopat. We see a number of other people in our syndicate community that come in to share. Of course, we see Shane. My boy Shane. Love you, brother. This doesn't happen without you. The singles or double-digit people that watch with us live every Friday doesn't happen without you. The dozens of people that watch it over the coming week. And by the way, it is developing its own dozens of viewers every week through both of our playlists, season 1 and season 2, all by itself. There is no money in there. There's no clever marketing. There isn't even proper keywords yet. And we're generating dozens of views a week on our little, I say that with air quotes, podcast. So thank you for doing that. We are at the end of January. Dawn and Lorette, love you guys to pieces. Thank you for showing up every Friday. Scott and Danny, you're here for everything, and I love you guys for that. Thanks for always supporting the brand. Maddie and Paul, my brothers from other mothers, I cannot do this without you. This is the virtual business box lunch. It's built to make you smarter. It gives us a chance, like therapy, to talk out loud what we put up with over the past week and to have some validation. We don't disagree an awful lot on here, but from time to time we do, because it's really important. When that happens, I want you to note something, because this is my final lesson for you today in business. Nobody's feelings are hurt because somebody said they were wrong on here. Why? That is one of the best gifts you can give yourself in skill development in business. And if you don't have to have it after 22 months in a pandemic, you are still lucky to be alive professionally, because our resilience, our mental fortitude, and our ability to take feedback that, oh, it kind of hurt my feelings. Well, they probably meant it for a good reason. Otherwise, they tell you you're an idiot, you failed. And you don't have to listen to those people. But good feedback is really important. Education is really important. And every week, I bring you the best business people I know right here to talk live and spend an hour of their time to do what? Share what they do for free to merely make the world a better place. And that is lethal. That is potent and powerful. So, Lorette, Dawn, Scott, and Danny, I heart you guys. Paul and Matt, as always, love going to war with you boys. This has been a hell of a ride so far. And I am the savage in business, This is the Virtual Business Box Lunch. End of January 2022. We will see you next Friday when we come back and we do this all over again. And as always, I'll sandbag these poor bastards by not telling them what we're talking about ahead of time. Why? Because that's how I amuse myself on a Friday afternoon. Get after it. Watch the previous season. Watch the other episodes. Check out our sister station, Syndicate, and all of their stuff. Syndicate Talks. 3 seasons are in the can over there. And wait for it. In 2022, this and Syndicate Talks are going on Amazon Prime. We're going to big time TV. You're going to see it in the glowing box in your living room. I love being able to share that with you. Stay safe. Get after